everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to do a little game called Sled Saga. It's a little hard to read, so I know. This is a game that Pi bought me, and it has you basically being a musher and doing a dog. Running a dog sled team. It's a fairly simple little game, but I find it a lot of fun and I like it a lot. So you first start out in this small little cabin in the woods in Mount Saint something. And the very first thing you do is you need to pick a dog team. Now there are 3 dog type personalities: steady, strong, and obedient. You want to make sure you have at least one of each. So let's see. Let's get this lab. You can change the name of the dog. You can just hit random until you get something that you like. You can also change their harness color on a sliding scale. Brighter, darker, however you want it. Their name will also appear in the color you've assigned them. So we have an obedient one, so now we need a steady one. So let's get Elk. I like his harness color the way it is. And finally we need a strong one. Looks like Amy is our only choice there. That's fine. So now that we have all 3 dogs, we're going to be given the tutorial. You press and hold the mouse key to arc the bones. And you want to feed the dogs when they're panting. You can tell when the dog really needs food because the pants will be colored, or rather flashing. See how the labs is flashing? If you feed them when they're flashing, they actually get a speed up. You also want to make sure that you move them to keep the line as taut as possible, because if you don't, they get tangled up like that. That slows you down immensely, as does just not feeding them. So we're going to go ahead and enter the league challenge. And here, when you first start, here's the basic thing about personalities is that of the personalities, what they are bad at will always stay the same. So like an obedient dog is bad at being the wheel dog, so you never want to put an obedient dog in that spot. However, what they are good at, what they are best at, changes depending on your game. So in this case, it seems that strong is very good at being the wheel dog. So either steady or obedient. Of these 2, one of them is good at being middle and one of them is good at being lead. We know obedient cannot be wheel. Actually, I believe steady cannot be lead, as a matter of fact. But I don't fully remember that. But either way, you learn after a few races what they are good at and what they are struggling at. So we'll learn eventually. So this is the race. You just run on this little track here. That little thing we passed by was a refill station. It refills your bones when you run out of them. So since our middle dog there looked pleased, the thing he likes the most is probably perfect catches. That means he prefers it when you throw him a bone only when he is panting. Also, that tree was an obstacle. If we tried to throw the bone while going past the tree, it would bounce off the tree and not miss the dog. I have actually bounced a treat off of the tree while throwing it to another dog, and the wheel dog caught it, which was kind of interesting. Also, that one, the lab missed that one, because we jumped over the rock, which changed the timing of the throw, or rather the direction of the throw. That will happen. However, if you manage to actually have them catch a bone midair while jumping over something, you'll get some fame points for that, because that's something people think is really impressive, and for good reason. Also, when you're doing your throws, you want to make sure you want to get as close to the dog's head as possible. If you go too far, or you go too, if you're too short or too far, it will hit the snow and they won't be able to get it. Also, you feed them when they're not panting, it just bounces off their head. So we got first place, so we won $400. Regardless of what happens, if you race with a dog, it gets 1 fatigue. So you want to be very careful, because if you race a dog with deep fatigue, which is what the red over here is called, bad things happen. So you don't want to do that. So you can do this regimen, and this gives you a bunch of things. If you caretake with the dogs, it reduces their fatigue. If you train them, it increases their skill. Skill, I believe, is how likely their special ability will kick in. Because every dog has a skill, but every dog also has a fault, so they have a good and a bad about them. The third thing they have is their favorite thing. Basically, if their favorite thing happens, they get a mood boost, and I believe if you go too long without getting their favorite thing, they get a mood drop. So far, the one I hate the most is called Fame, because they specifically have to get the Fame, or it doesn't count. And it's hard enough just getting Fame in general. And so he's just telling us stuff. If the dog looks pleased, that's their favorite thing. And he will actually tell us what our dog's faults are and what their favorite things are. We just have to trigger the fault and the favorite thing a couple of times. And this is just talking about the different breeds. It's just a very short blurb, basically describing what they look like. Which I'm not really sure why it was there, but it was there. So since they still have some fatigue, so now that their fatigue is gone, I'm going back to training them. Skills have skills have a cap, but basically you have to fill the bar up all the way, and then there's a secondary white bar you have to fill up, and only once that secondary white bar is filled do they level up. So down here where personality is, once you figure out the aptitude, it will tell you outright what the aptitude they have for that spot is. For now, we're keeping Alki and Shurikai where they are, because we can't tell if they're good or not at it. Also, in the selection screen, the other option with the big parka is female. This is male. That doesn't really change anything. All that really changes is the sounds you make and what pronouns the game refers to you by. Oh! It looks like Shurikai's fault kicked in. Well, it's not greedy. If it was greedy, he would have eaten the bones. And it's not bottomless stomach, because if it was, he would have immediately gotten hungry and stayed hungry. So I wonder what it is. He'll have to trigger it another time before we can figure it out, though. That might be too far. Yep, that's not too far. Sorry. Sorry, puppy. They slow down if you don't feed them, so you want to make absolute sure you keep the food up and going. What I prefer to do is feed my dogs all one after another, so it keeps them, it means their fatigue is going to kick in one after another as well. If all your dogs have the same amount of, have the same level of fatigue, which I'll show you next time we go into a race, they will always get tired in sync. Their fatigue can upgrade to 8 light and 8 heavy, eventually. But that takes a while. You get a fatigue increases every time you get a fatigue increase EXP every time you get a perfect throw. So, like I thought, Alki likes perfectly timed catches. So every time you get a perfect, she'll get a mood boost. So we want to get the fatigue down for our puppies. That's basically the story of this game. It's not big. It's basically the background of the area you live in. Which, it's interesting and I like it, but it's not really relevant to anything. It might be relevant later when you get deeper into the game. But you finish the story very quickly. You in fact finished the story so quickly that I was only like League 3 out of 7, and I had the story done. So always keep an eye on the rope here, because you definitely don't want snags to happen. Oh, it looks like Alki triggered his skill. I can't tell what it is though. It's not no tangles because their legs would glow. It also doesn't look like the skill that lets all my dogs catch throws regardless of where they are, because everyone will be tipping their head back. So that means it's either second wind, which means if I let his stamina run out, he'll snap back to being energetic on his own, or it's one I haven't seen yet. So interesting. He looked at one of the opponents we had while his skill was active. I believe this is a skill I have not seen before. That's actually kind of interesting. So you can see our opponents there in the background. Uh-oh. Looks like Amy's fault just kicked in. Come on, Amy, we're so close. Good girl. We just managed to get to squeak in for first place. During these early races, you basically just gotta go with what they give you. It gets a whole lot easier to get first place when dogs are triggering their skills a lot more, and when their faults are less likely to kick in. But you can't have that at this start of the game. You just don't have, you haven't put in the work for the dogs for that to come through. And here you can see the fatigue capacity is going up, and they're also getting specialties for the positions they're in. This, along with the repartee that they're getting, lowers the fatigue that they take in races. So for every level of specialty they get, their fatigue drops by 1, and for if they have a rapport with everybody in the team, their fatigue also drops by 1. Let's see. So Alki triggered his unique skill, but we need to trigger him again. We can see what Amy's fault is. Okay, so when Amy's fault triggers, she actually gets super slow, which is a really, really bad fault, and I have actually never seen that before. So that's unfortunate. But we're just gonna have to work with it. We could replace her, but why? Once we can get our dogs staying regularly happy, their faults will barely ever kick in. Yeah, if you want to see the story of the game, play it yourself. It's actually really cute. And yeah, there are skills that only affect the dog and skills that affect the whole team. The one where tangles are prevented, as well as the one that lets dogs catch off-center throws, those affect the whole team, while second wind only affects the dog that has it. So, stuff to keep in mind. So here's what I mean by exhaustion. Or fatigue, rather. You can see we have low exhaustion, medium exhaustion, high exhaustion, I believe severe exhaustion, and dangerous exhaustion. I've not seen these two, so I don't know for sure. Basically, this determines how fast the dog gets tired. Like I said, if it is above low, it will go down 1 for every level of specialty they have, and it will go down 1 if they have a repertoire for the other dogs in the team. So it looks like I picked correctly. So obedient is the lead dog specialty, and steady is the middle dog specialty, which makes strong the wheel dog specialty, which is actually just like it is in my original game. But anyways, so since these are all easy, they all have very low exhaustion rates, but that's something you really want to keep in mind, especially if you're trying to train a new dog, because the maximum team you can use in races is 5 dogs, but you have to get higher in the ranks to get those kind of races. So for the moment, we only have this 3 team with us right now, but if we want to move up in the races, we will eventually have to get a 4th dog and then a 5th dog. Oh, Amy's fault kicked in again. Come on, Amy, come on. And so did Shurikai's. And I missed that throw for Amy. And I missed it again. Sorry, Amy. Yeah, it can be kind of weird to time throws if you have, say, a new breed. But also, I'll show you what I mean. If I throw, this tree blocks it. So again, be very careful with your throws when that little thing pops up. Be very careful. You want to watch the ropes at all times too. Like I said, tangles are bad, and you only have a certain amount of time to input what you need to jump over that rock. You will jump over the rock immediately after you input it, anytime after you have 3, but if you don't input 3 by the time, if you don't input 3 in time, your lead dog will bash its head against the rock and whimper, which is really heartbreaking. So we're gonna know what Shurikai's fault is come the end of this race. Still not sure what Alk's skill is. It's definitely involving the opposing racers, but what is it? That's what I'd like to know. But we have to get him happy enough to trigger it again. And we got first! Look at that. And since we got Fame, Amy went up in Fame. I'm not really sure what Fame does on a per dog basis. I haven't quite figured out what it is yet. But Fame in general means you get sponsors, and sponsors means they can give you a whole bunch of really nice effects. So far, I've seen sponsors that prevent tangles for a certain amount of time. I've seen sponsors that actually pay some of the money you need to pay monthly. I've seen sponsors that increase how many of those treats you can hold at one time. And I've seen what I think is a worthless sponsor, which doesn't do anything but make your sled friction better. Which, I actually tested it out, and it seems to have no effect. Aha, so that's it. So Shurikai's fault is that when we come close to an opponent, he slows down. Which is unfortunate, but it's not the worst fault out there. So here we go to quick errands. This lets us change the league. This lets us get a new dog. This lets us make our kennel bigger to hold more dogs. Or, pardon, this lets us manage our dogs. This lets us expand our kennel. For some reason I was looking over here with my cursor here. This lets us manage staff, which is, I guess, helpful. This lets you change your sled color. Unfortunately, you can't do anything but change the color. You can't change what it looks like. This lets you view the sponsors you have. This lets you breed dogs, but you need 5 dogs on the team to breed it, so you at least have, so you always have at least 3. And this is the Kickstarter backers. Which I think is really cute that they put a whole thing of the Kickstarter backers here. let's get our dog's fatigue down, and then I'll show you how going up in leagues works. So here's the thing, we're in League 1 right now, and you can see the stamp here. This means that our dues, or what we pay to the league every month, is $200, and it's $100 per dog, so it pays $300. So that means that we pay $500 a month. If we want to move up to League 2, the dues go up to $500, which means we need to pay the guild the league $500 every month, and our dog registrations go up to $300, which means we need to pay $900 because we have 3 dogs. The nice thing about this is that if you go up in a league, you pay the total you need to pay right then. But if you qualify for the league, it doesn't matter how long until bills were due, they're immediately due next month. So like if you get enough money to change leagues and your bills are due the next day, if you qualify for the league, you no longer pay the bills the next day because you've already paid to qualify for the league. So qualifying is basically like all other races, you just race. It's a little bit tougher than the normal races in order to qualify, but it gives you a good idea of what to expect from these races. So since the tree is coming up, I have to wait until it passes. But I can immediately feed all 3 dogs after. So you want to be very careful, because I lost count of how many times I lost first place because I didn't have them fed when that tree popped up. Because when the image pops up, it's already too late to feed all your dogs. So you want to be careful of your timing in feeding them. Normally, if you feed them only when their breath starts flashing, you can manage it just fine though. Oh, and he choked again. Come on, puppy, come on. You can see that cut our speed quite a bit. Faults are not like permanent side effects. They have to actually trigger like skills. And there you can see I messed up pretty severely. I did actually have time, so I take that back. You do have, depending on how far ahead the tree is, which you can't tell until you hit the tree, you will have enough time to feed them all if you're quick. But you can see I flubbed on I'm flubbing on a couple of throws, and I flubbed on Shurikai's first throw. By the way, if you're curious, in order to be considered in the place above, you have to pass the other dude. Like, not your dog, you yourself on the sled have to. And you can see we just barely squeaked out first place. I don't believe you need first place in order to qualify. I think first or second both work. But we qualified, so. And you can see all this going up just like it is before. So we don't actually know what Shurikai's fave is, or what Amy's fave is. That's going to be a little bit problematic, because the only way to discover their fave is to actually do it. But since I have no idea what she likes, so I don't know what to do with her. But yeah, you can see because we qualified and paid in, we are already have the next 29 days. Or it's already back up to 29 days, so. I'm going to take a step out, though, and I'm going to load up my actual file so that I can show you a different race. So you can see I have my dogs here, along with the 5th for the later races. So we have Kahlua, Logan, Bandit, and Domino. And all of these names were actually generated by the game, so don't look at me. We also have Nagito over here, which was also generated by the game. But he's not doing anything because I can't do 5-dog races yet. I just got him because he actually has some good skills and stuff I want. So we're just going to train up. And here you can see the skill caps. And you can also see Logan is a little bit below. drag on a puppy, you pet them. It's cute. Alright, so this is unfortunately a 3-dog one. But I'm going to show you how this works when your dogs are, have a high skill and high happiness. So as you can see here, the snow's quality means that the fatigue was increased by 3, but because of the repartee and the lead specialty, it went down significantly. So they will be exhausting at a low rate here. Also, you can hear the difference in the yell, since I have a female avatar. Also, their bandit triggered his, which means that they can now catch wild throws, which I will try to demonstrate. They can only catch it so far, though, so you have to be kind of careful. Also, Kahlua triggered hers, so you can see their legs are flashing green. That means they can't get into tangles. The ropes won't tangle. I still keep them nice and straight, because it's only a temporary one. All skills are temporary, so... Also, you can see me not paying attention to the poor dogs, which is gonna hurt us a little bit. Yeah, notice how often they're triggering their skills, compared to what I had before. Also, here's another tree warning. But that's fine. Because to have them fed up, they're just fine. Also, both Bandit and Kahlua have perfect catches as their fave. Domino's fave is placing up, so every time we pass an enemy, he gets, or an opponent, he gets happy. I miss poor Domino. Placing up and perfect catches are two of the easiest faves, because you should always be doing both of those in every race you're doing. Also, you can see the wind is affecting my throws quite badly. So you gotta be aware of that when dealing with wind, that it will completely mess up your throws. Sorry, Domino. I thought that that throw went wild, so I tried to make sure, but that's all right. So we got first place. Also, you can see the maxed out fatigue here. It's pretty big. So Logan is still catching up. He was the so for the 4 and 5 dog races, you will still have only one wheel dog and one lead dog. It's just the middle ones you increase. So both Logan and Nagito here will be middle dogs. Well, Logan already is a middle dog, but Nagito will be a middle dog once I can use 5 dogs, which won't happen until I'm able to league up. But I'm not quite ready for that yet. So yes, their skill goes down every time they rest, so you have to manage that. And here we have a 4-dog team. Notice how these are in red? That means that they're in the wrong positions for this, so we wanna swap them around. Also, it doesn't matter where in the middle they are, all 3 slots are basically the same. I just like having Bandit up front because he's been a part of the team longer. So here's a 4-dog race. Also, if you notice the rope flash red there, that meant that it was, a tangle could start. That's why you want to keep them, Also, if you're wondering why I got a flash of camera there, that means that someone in the press took a picture, because I actually threw the snack while we were jumping over the rock, and Domino still caught it. So that's a good way to get fame, is if you can time it right, throw it while you're in the air, and if it's still caught, you'll get fame, and if you do like I do and you bounce it off the tree to hit the wheel dog, you also get fame. That last one's a lot harder than you'd think, though. I've only managed to do it accidentally. Also, the wind is causing trouble again. Also, you notice there that Domino triggered his second wind ability, and because of the wind, I couldn't get the treat to him fast enough, so he healed himself, and the treat bonked off his head. That's just kind of the thing that happens. And I missed Logan. It happens, you miss. It's just not that, as long as you quickly fix it, it's not that big a deal. And we're done! First place again. Yeah, the higher in the league you go, the more money you get for winning the race. Also, here is a sponsorship. Unfortunately, you only have 3 slots for sponsorships, which is horrifically tiny, but... So the level 3 food bag is what increases my capacity to 9. Well, this funding means that my sponsor covers 50% of the monthly expenses. Unfortunately, I prefer having this to this, so the food bag is just gonna have to go away. Yeah, that is basically Sled Saga. It's a really fun, really enjoyable game. I like it a lot, and I really think it's worth playing. It is on Steam, so if you want it, definitely go pick it up.